Future flavors.
All right, yo, what is the deal? Shout out to everybody listening at the crib, tuning in, all the grateful ones watching at home. This is another segment of the Future Flavors Show. We live right now at 101.7.3, Pittsburgh's #1 for hip-hop, and it is Super Bowl Sunday. For real, it's lit.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? It's a good day for Pittsburgh. We got Aaron Donald on the Rams, we got T. Boyd on the Bengals. I personally don't care who wins for real. It's a win for the city, the way I look at it, and I think everybody else look at it. But that's not important. What's important is we got a very special guest in the building. Came in here dripped up. Swag is definitely crazy, but this is somebody who definitely sticks out to me on the up-and-coming underground scene. A lot of people do not reach out to me on a consistent basis or with a certain agenda, speaking their purpose or working towards their purpose, and this person definitely does do that and fits that criteria. But without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, Big Beaux.
Yeah, yes, sir. It's your boy Beaux checking in. Here live in effect. My boy DJ Cold Blooded. What's going on, man?
You know, just chilling. It's another day.
Yeah.
You know, how you feeling?
I'm feeling good, man. I can't complain. Just getting ready for the Super Bowl Sunday.
Yeah. It's your first time up at the station? You were here before, right?
Nah, I mean, I've been here a few times in the past. You know, I used to push a couple artists, so I've been around the scene, yeah. I've been around the scene for a while now. You know, but no, I've definitely been up here.
All right, cool. Well, just start from the beginning. How'd you get your name, and what was your upbringing like?
Beaux, as far as Beaux, you know, that's just basically short for my last name, really. Like, my last name is Beaux, so at the end of the day, a lot of people call me Beaux, like, you know, as I was coming up out here, but just, I don't know, as far as how I spell it, though, like, I just decided to go with a unique way of spelling it, so it just wasn't simple like a B-O, just to give it a different look.
Yeah.
But that's pretty much it as far as my name.
That'd be a cool, like the way you spell it, that'd be a cool name for like a clothing line.
Yeah.
You know, like I have like Gucci, like Tom Ford and all that.
Now, I plan on definitely branding a lot of things as I keep going up. But right now I'm just working on trying to bring everything up, take the brand up, you know what I mean?
Yeah. So where you from originally in the city? Or are you even from the city?
Nah, well, it's crazy, man. I had a crazy upbringing as far as like places I lived. I definitely came up in the Mon Valley.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Duquesne, like West Mifflin area. I bounced between both areas. But for the most part, though, came up in the Mon Valley. Came up with my grandparents. My parents were, well, my father was in the military, so he moved around a lot. But I've definitely lived a couple different areas. But for the most part, came up in the Mon Valley.
Did he bring you with him, or did he say like, yo, I'm gonna do my own thing and I'm gonna let you like not have to bouncing around?
What happened was like probably when I was young, like probably since like kindergarten, like somewhere around in there. Like my mother and I, we lived with my grandparents, which is her parents. But my dad, he was always on the move, and what happened, I actually lived overseas a couple years. Like my first and second grade year, my dad got stationed out in Japan on Misawa Air Force Base. So like my first and second grade year, I moved out there, did that a couple years, came back.
You was on the base in Japan?
Yep, I still remember it too. It's crazy, but going into my third grade year, we came back, and that summer we were here with my grandparents. My dad had just got stationed down in Maryland, so they were getting ready to move down there. I just ended up staying here and never really looked back. So,
did you like learn to speak Japanese while you was out there?
I remember a couple little small words or so here and there, but not really though. Like it would just remind you of being here really when you're living on base. It's really when you go off base you really get a feel of the culture.
Okay. All right, so I guess that would make sense. Everybody's American.
Yeah, when you're on base, it's everybody from America stationed there. So, but a lot of people don't know that about me though. So
that's what's up.
Yeah.
But what was high school like for you?
High school, same thing, man. Like really, I bounced around. Like my 9th grade year, I was at West Mifflin. I ended up moving down Maryland after my granddad died. He just wanted me to try to live with my parents, so I went down there and tried it out. I went to Westlake High School down in Maryland. It was cool.
Like PG County, Maryland?
Yep.
Okay.
Yep. I was right around You know, you familiar with the Waldorf area maybe down there? I don't know, yeah. But yeah, PG County though. But like, I only spent like a year down there, came back, and then I graduated from Duquesne High School. That's where most of my family's from here. So.
Okay, that's what's up. Shout out to everybody down Duquesne.
Yeah, Duke City for sure, man. All day, every day.
So, what was the moment where you fell in love with music? Like that moment where, like were you like a kid and you had like a CD player? You're like, yo, I want to try rapping. Or were you like making beats? Was you like beating on the table at lunch?
You know what's so crazy, man? Like, ever since I can remember, I've been into music, man. It's just like, as far as me rapping, that came about later. But I've always been into music. Like, my mom always had me on music. Living with my grandparents, they always listen to oldies. My mom was listening to Ghetto Boys and things like that. So that's crazy. So you know what I mean? So I came up on all types of stuff. Scarface, like
Bushwick,
all of that. Yeah. So and then my dad too. My dad, he always like dipped and dived. Like I feel like he had a hidden passion. Like he wanted to DJ because he used to always keep DJ equipment in the spot. All of that. So like he was always into music. Everybody on my mom's side of the family, I had plenty of DJs on that side. People into music. So it's always been around. And I don't know, like when I was like young though, I'd probably say like my middle school years. I went to I don't know if you're familiar. You familiar with Sam Ash, right? It's like a music store. It's almost like Guitar Center. But I was up New York at Sam, and it's a store called Sam Ash. Anybody that knows, they know. It's just like Guitar Center. But you could get plenty of studio equipment there, all of that. But I was into like trying to make beats back then. So like I remember I bought like a bunch of, I don't know the exact name, but beat equipment, all type. I went and bought a whole bunch of stuff and tried to get into it, but I never really took it serious though.
You still got it?
No, not
sold it.
Yeah. Nah, I don't even know what happened to it, man. That was so many years ago.
Yeah, I'm studio setup.
Now I still got a studio set up though. I had a studio set up for a while, though, like for some years, even before I started doing music. Like I said, once I got a little older, you know what I mean, I started really like dipping and diving, like trying to hook up with some artists and you know, get behind the scenes and help out and try to do something with this music, because I know there's definitely a lot of money in it. But worked out for a little while, but it was always up and down. You know, it's kind of tough trying to do that sometimes. But one day I just decided, like, man, I got an image. I'm probably doing and talking half of the stuff that half of these other, you know what I mean, rappers talking. So I just said, man, I'm going to go ahead and do this myself. You know what I mean? And I always had it in me. Like, I've always played around, like, recording a couple jams when I was younger. And you know how it is, but...
Trying to figure it out. Did they have, like, music classes and stuff in high school, too?
When I went to West Mifflin for a year, they definitely offered, like, classes. They had, like, a whole studio set up in there. I don't know if they still have it there. But, like, they, like, had a built-in studio there, and, like, you could definitely take classes to learn how to, like, make beats, record. But I never did it personally. Everything I learned with this music has just been me on the move, networking. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta, probably, like, 4 or 5 years ago. I spent a lot of time in Atlanta and, like, soaked up a lot of game. And I still have a lot of relationships down there, too.
How old was you when you went to New York to go get all that equipment?
Man, I was probably, like, 14, 15 years old, maybe like around 14, 15. So it was like I was into it since then.
So it was like a family thing. Y'all all went out there and you said, you know what, man, I'm about to go in here. I'm about to just get
I was with my mother, man. I was with my mother, my grandma. I think my little sister. We were up there, man, up in New York. I think we went up there, like, I don't know what we went up there for. But we were just up there, and the first thing I told my mom, I just knew, you know, New York's all about music, hip-hop. So, the first thing I told my mom, I think, you know what it was? We were on a hip-hop tour up there. Like, got on a bus up there, like...
Oh, they do that? That's like the neighborhood dips? Like,
get on the bus, and they take you, like, through the Bronx, Brooklyn, tell you different, like... things about, like, hip-hop in those cities. I mean, in those, towns or whatever, but, boroughs. But, it was with Grandmaster Caz. I don't know if you're familiar, old school dude. But, like, it was a tour with him, and I remember we were on that bus, and I just told my mom, I asked him, as a matter of fact, I said, yo, where's the place I could go to get equipment? I'm into this is what I want to do. And he told me Sam Ash, and
that's hard.
We shot straight over it.
All right, so off camera, you said your man's Taliban's was some of your, what was a musical influence on you?
For sure. Tali, man, my man Tali, It's a good dude, man. Nothing bad to say about him. He was always 100, official dude. But yeah, he was like real big with the Pittsburgh hip hop scene, like early on. Why he stopped doing music, I don't know. But I always used to tell him, man, you need to get back out there, do your thing. He always said he was going to, but he never really did. But he always told me, like, yo, you got the drip, fam, you be doing this, that, like, doing your thing. Why don't you just get out? You might as well do it too. Why don't we do it? Like, we basically started, like, I got him back into doing music again, really. Like, I'm not going to say I'm solely the only person. He probably had other people around him.
You contributed.
But I feel like I contributed. Like, I would bring him to the studio with me. I think one of his last songs he recorded was with me. I still have it. I plan on releasing it sometime down the road. But, like, that was my guy for sure. Yeah.
So, who were some of your role models in this music thing coming up?
As far as what, like, locally or big hip-hop artists?
Both. Local and big. It could be business-wise, because we're going to get into that, or it could be, you know, just as far as your artistry.
I would say, for surely, like, a heavy influence on me. Locally, I would say, like, Shig and Grams from DUQUESN'S. You know, I'm jigging. You know what I mean? Those are my brothers from. But yeah, for sure. But they definitely were heavy influence. I only say that because, like, I was probably like 15, not even 15. I would say like 16, 17. Man, they had me going out. I was going out to Crowbar, Tequila Willie's, Questions back in the day. If you know, you know. But like, they had me out, like they were doing their thing, they had I'm jigging out, and like they were going out 30 deep, performing, club going crazy, like just seeing that whole scene and what they did locally. Even cats like S Money, I came up under him for surely, seeing him do his thing. Oe, you know, Oe was doing his thing for sure. But like just seeing that whole scene back then, F Block, like them
so
dudes were
you got to witness the generation before
I was there seeing
the ones that's old now.
Yeah, a lot of dudes, they don't even, like, because I was just young out here, so like a lot of people don't even know. Like, and I feel like, to be honest, to really get a feel of what the Pittsburgh scene was really like, you had to just beat her back then, because today is nowhere near like what it was, even musically.
What do you think is the biggest difference now versus then?
I feel like it was a lot more money in the city. That's why.
Yeah, you think?
I feel like it. As far as with the artists and what they were trying to do, I feel like a lot more artists had more. I'm not gonna say a lot more, but it was just like a lot more going on in the city. Let's just say that, like, it was a lot more going on. Like a lot more people were active.
Like more clubs, more
clubs, more events. Definitely more opportunity. It was like big artists coming through the city almost every other week. Like, you know what I mean? Shows all the time. Like, it was just more opportunity, more things going on, more people out here. You know, I don't know. It was just, it's just something about it. It's just like you had to beat her to just know. I don't know, but the feeling was just way different compared to now. There's definitely a lot of good talent out here right now today.
So let's talk about this entertainment thing you got going on, man. What is 5-Star Entertainment? What does that mean to you?
5-Star Entertainment is just everything 5-Star, man. Like, what we're trying to do, the image, the whole brand, like everything we're trying to do is just 5-Star, but it really comes from a family member of mine that passed away some years back. My cousin Nature, rest in peace in Nature, David Daniels from DUQUESN'S. But everybody, they used to call him 5-Star G back in the day, like 5-Star General. But like, that's really where the 5-Star kind of came from, because I kind of started it up with my boy Shig. As you know, Shig, I was like kind of like behind the scene with Shig, his cousin Loyal, helping him out or whatever, and we just came up with the 5-Star. Like when he had his indictment around that time, and I remember the whole hardcore entertainment thing they had going, like was kind of on a down spurt, so we just like came up with something new, and it was like 5-Star Entertainment was it. It was just like a good feel.
So what year is this?
This is probably like 15, 16 when we started it up. It probably really started going though, like probably a couple years after that.
So 7 years in the game, entertainment company. What's it like dealing with artists aside from just yourself? Because now you put on another hat. Now you dealing with management. You dealing with maybe publishing, scheduling different things. You know, you're orchestrating the team now.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that. You just said a key word, team. If you don't have a team, I don't feel like anything in this music game will ever work. You know what I mean? I don't care who you are. You could be Drake. You need a team. It's really a lot of work. It's not meant for the weak. You know what I mean? As far as getting behind an artist, you deal with a lot of emotion, especially locally. Like, it's different if you're like a big label like Def Jam or somebody.
Yeah, like if
you're changing somebody's life.
Yeah, like if you established and already got the.
Yeah, that's different. Like locally, like a lot of artists.
You can still have that.
What?
Like the power and wherewithal to like change somebody's life, but you know they might look at a Def Jam differently than like.
Well, you know, honestly, like if you look at a lot of local artists here, besides ones that are already on their way up,
yeah,
like. Any local artist here that has somebody locally on the scene here just putting money behind them, granted you could probably have a bag, but you're never going to have a Def Jam bag, a Interscope bag, 9 times out of 10. So it's just like, you got to make do what you can, but at the same time, it's a team effort. Like, you got to have an understanding, I feel like, when you come together, especially locally, like with somebody maybe from your neighborhood, maybe he just got the bag and you got the talent. But y'all got to come together collectively because it could turn into a lot of things, like, a lot of emotions get involved, like especially if it's your homeboy, like y'all got to figure out where y'all draw the line with business. You know what I mean? Because at the end of the day, this is a business, and we all got, and you all should all have a common goal to get to one, you know what I mean, one spot, which is at the top.
What's something you think artists should be mindful of when going into signing or brokering a deal with a local label, or just a label period?
Things they should be mindful of. Just basically what your deal consists of. And I mean, I say that it's hard to say, like, I think it depends on the individual and what they're looking for. Somebody might go in there and sign a 360 and don't care because they just want to leave out the hood tomorrow, like, you know what I mean? But me personally, I would just say look for some type of leverage. Like, you want to have leverage going and signing or dealing with any deal anyway.
What do you mean by leverage?
Like, man, you should already have a buzz, be hot. Don't go to a label or even somebody locally. Don't go to somebody looking for them to turn you up. You have to already be ready to turn yourself up. Invest in yourself as well, no matter if you have a little or a lot. Like, invest in yourself. Any label wants to see that anyway, or any person trying to invest in you. They want to see that you putting in work for yourself. Nobody wants to come in and babysit and, like, you know, nobody wants another son or kid or whatever. But it's just like, definitely got to, like, invest in yourself and just work every day. If you work every day and invest in yourself, you'll create leverage for yourself, I feel like. Especially if you're like hot and building a buzz. And once you have that leverage, man, you can sit in any room and create any deal you want. It's not about the deal they bring you. You can talk your own deal down there.
I'm glad you said that, because a lot of people, you know, even with these interviews, like sometimes like I'll just interview people just, you know, here, like I just want to talk to you. I want to get your story out, or I just want to give you this opportunity.
Right.
But then I also get to see now, like how you say, you got to be willing to invest in yourself. Like, you could go get interviewed by me or even Sway, Big Boy, The Breakfast Club, but if you're not going to promote your own interview or your own self or what you got going on, then, you know, how can you be mad about the position you're in?
Yeah, you can't expect, I don't even care if you're paying for promotion. You can't expect somebody to promote you if you're not already promoting yourself. And that goes back to everything from what I said. Like, you got to be investing in yourself, like putting in your work, promotion, your team. Like, you need to invest in yourself before you expect anybody to do anything major for you. That's how I just feel. That's with anything in life, really. But some people don't get that, so that's where the emotions kick in and all types of other stuff happen.
Nah. What was it like making that recap video you went on that trip?
What, Atlanta?
Yeah.
I was in Atlanta? Yeah, man, that was cool, man. Shout out my cameraman, Noah Stenhouse. He's actually from up here, but he's living in Atlanta. But anytime I'm out of town, or like especially down in Atlanta, I hit him up and he's gonna make the magic happen. But it was cool I really went down there, spent some time with my girl, you know what I mean? And we just went down there to kick it vibe. Went down there to meet up with a couple other artists. I'm cool with artists in the area as far as like Tracy T, that's my guy down there. I don't know if anybody ever heard of him.
Hey, they know now?
Yeah, I mean, he was signed with MMG, but Tracy T, that's my guy. DJ Champ, Lil Baby's DJ.
I know Champ.
He's an official DJ.
Yeah.
Champ's been my guy. Let me tell you this. Champ's been my guy probably since I started going down Atlanta, when I was pushing artists, like since probably like 2016, 17. Like, and one thing I can say about him, he's always been official. Like, I watch him work his way up the ladder,
Mm-hmm.
Like he's been Gucci's road DJ. Now he's like with Baby full time.
Mm-hmm.
And anytime he's in town or I'm down there, I can pull up to his crib. Like he hits me up. He's always official, and I feel like if I keep going up and doing what I need to do, he would like lend a hand, no problem. Like, you know what I mean? And that's what I strive for in this business, just a network.
Yeah. It's good that you networking, you know, because a lot of people, I'll tell people like for example, like let's say I might hit up like Rick Ross DJ on Snapchat, yo, I got a question, and he responds, cool. Or I hit up, you know, Beehive.
Beehive from Atlanta. Yeah.
He's the one who I asked advice for when it came to all of this, and when it came to like doing like the podcast and equipment and all that. I'll ask him like, yo, what do I got to do? What does it take?
You got the little Beehive vibe up here, man.
You
almost got his look too.
That's the. Hey, shout out to Beehive.
Shout out Beehive.
But yeah, like it amazes me how people always say, oh, like we don't get this, we don't get that. Pittsburgh don't get the look. It's hard out here, and it's like you got access to people that got the game.
Fact.
You just gotta reach out to them. Like you could talk to DJ Champ. DJ Champ does stadiums and festivals for big mainstream hip hop artists. Like he's not like you're just average DJ.
And sometimes when you network with the right people, as far as like we talking about Champ,
yeah,
man, especially if you have the means, like you might have somebody behind you with the bag, or you might have your own bag. Especially if you have the means to move around. I think that's really key in this music game. If you have relationships with certain people that are doing big things, move around and be in these places. If they're in the LA for the Grammys for the weekend, Super Bowl weekend, whatever, I feel like you need to be in these places, be seen. It's more opportunity to network if you know what I mean, if you're really taking it serious. Yeah, you know I want to go ahead and shout out my son's clothing line right here, get the bag, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's your son?
Yeah, we got more good things to come. This is just a little start off, a little logo, but I'm trying to help him out, teach him a little hustle, you know what I mean?
That's cool, that's cool, I like that. Well, two things. One, what's fatherhood like?
Fatherhood, it's crazy, man. See, I had my son young, so.
How old were you when you ended up having a son?
I was probably like about 18, like around that time.
What was going through your head, like leading up to that?
Man, to be honest, another thing, like, you know, I played, I was a pretty decent athlete in high school. I earned a scholarship to Miami of Ohio. I played ball up there, football up there.
I want to ask you the typical, you know,
no, that's
talk question.
I didn't play basketball up there. I was nice in basketball, but I ended up getting a scholarship at receiver at a couple schools, but I ended up going there. But while I was up there is when it happened, and so it was like real hectic for me, like trying to deal with school and that, and then like it was like a lot of crazy things around that time. But at the same time though, it's like it's very hectic, especially if you're young. I would advise don't have kids young if you don't have to. But it's definitely challenging, but I love it though. I love my son. I love it, and I couldn't ask for a better son either. So.
What are two pieces of advice you could give like other young fathers? Like, yo, I'm about to have this baby. You know, I may not know what I'm getting myself into. I'm kind of nervous. I'm excited, but you know, they're just going through the motions.
If it's a choice you know you're gonna make, I would say just from that point on, if you weren't already, get focused, figure out what you're trying to do, and just make it happen, man. Like it's just. When you're young, it's hard. Like you're not really established.
Yeah.
9 times out of 10, most people in those situations don't have their parents to like just come in and do everything for you.
Yeah.
If you do, hey, you're blessed. But at the end of the day, it's just tough. So you're not really established. Your best bet is just like you gotta roll with the punches and just get on your grind and get focused. That's all I can say. And things will pick up and work out itself.
All right. Well. Time to gas you up. As far as your fashion sense, I'm loving the fit right now. This is you're very color coordinated. This is very flat, son.
Yeah,
got the Von Dutch hat, you know what I'm saying? Is that Burberry?
Yeah, Burberry coat.
Okay, you know what I'm saying? Burberry coat, something slight. You got your son's shirt.
Yes, sir.
You know what I'm saying? With the Timbs, you know what I'm saying? You've definitely given Dave East right now.
Okay,
You know what I'm saying?
I get that a lot too, man. I don't know why, but I get the Dave East, like maybe because we're both tall.
Tall, New York feel.
Davy's from New York?
Yeah.
What you mean? What, you're from New York?
The Bronx. Yeah.
He's from
the Bronx.
Queensbridge.
Queens, yeah, Queens.
If I don't know you, you're irrelevant.
Wow.
Nah, Dave.
Hey, yo, Dave, don't mind her, yo. Don't mind her, yo. We gotta get Dave. Don't mind her.
Dave's going to come through her one day. Hey, man.
No, not in that way, but no, he looks like a New Yorker. Completely. You dress like a New Yorker. You're about your business. That's what I meant. But I say irrelevant. In a bad way, my bad.
It's okay. That's all right. No harm, no foul.
Mm-hmm.
So, what are your thoughts on the Pittsburgh music scene? Like, what do you like about it? What do you love about it? Is there anything you think it could use
What I like about it, it's a lot of talent, and it's a lot of talent that a lot of people don't know about. It's a lot of young talent, and I see a lot of people working. Like, it's definitely a lot of people working consistently, working hard. I say a lot of artists' downfall is networking, and even networking locally. Like, a lot of us need to come together. I'm pretty sure it's cliche. A lot of people say that, but I think we need to come together, just like Atlanta. Detroit's kind of doing it at this point. It's like I think if we did that, especially in a small city like this, if we just come together and network, we could definitely get further ahead.
That's what everybody says, man. They always say networking and working.
Yeah, everybody
together.
says it, but nobody's really doing it either. But everybody says it, but it really is the answer. That's why I said it might sound cliche, but it's like there's not enough of it. Like I even get it, like where artists will hit me like, hey, I want to work with you. Let's work. Let's do this. Let's do that. Especially if they know you're official. Like a lot of people want to work, but they
don't know.
They really mess around. They're not really serious.
They don't know. They get it all the time. Be like, hey, what's up, bro? Let's work. Tap in. Be like, all right, what you got in mind?
Right.
And it's just crickets.
Then there's like, even outside of music, it's not even a lot of people that want to come together just to put a business mindset together and just figure out a business to come together on. Like, it just needs to be a lot more unity in the city for sure. Like, I think that's the first start, and then from there, I don't know, but that's the first start for sure.
Yeah. And like you said, like a lot of artists, there's the artist and there's the dude behind the scenes with the bag pushing the artist, but no one knows that.
Then it's a lot of local beefs too. Whether it's the artist or it might be the guy behind the artist with the bag. Like, man, you're not going over there working with him, or we're not doing that. You know what I mean?
But even, like you said, even with that, you could be doing that right now and then get to the point where like a deal's on the table.
If something makes sense and it's really about some money, man, you got to put all that to the side, because at the end of the day, we all here for one common goal, and we're in the same profession as far as like with this music, so you're going to have to cross paths at some point. And there's already enough rappers not rappers killing each other, but there's already enough rappers dying out here over nonsense and just anything, so it's just like, why keep contributing to that? You know what I mean? But I would also say, like, at the end of the day, a lot of artists, like, outside of the beef thing, like, it's like a lot of artists too, not a lot, but there's some artists in the city that really have a lot more power than they know, and they don't utilize it because they probably feel like they're bigger than, I feel like there's some artists that feel like they're bigger than what they are locally, and then they act too arrogant, too, like...
What do you mean, power as far as what? Like, in regards to...
Like, there's some artists right now that are popping in the city, like... I mean, the obvious is like the Hardos and even like the Feds and all that. Like, there's some artists that are like, that are popping, but there's some artists too that have leverage and don't even know they have leverage. Like, I feel like, I don't know who dislikes who out here, but I like, just to keep it real, I feel like artists like Joogie, like,
Joogie's hard.
If he would just go harder, he could have way more leverage than what he has right now, even just locally on the scene. Like, he could be another big artist. Like, I feel like there's a few people like him. I don't want to keep thinking and naming people, but there's people like that.
What would you think? Well, when they get said leverage, how would you utilize that type of leverage?
How would I use it? I would use it. Any leverage I have, period, I'm using it to network, man. I'm using it to my advantage as far as that. Like, I'm trying to get in the rooms with people. I'm trying to let them know who I am, especially while I'm hot, and have the leverage. Like, I'm just, like, with my leverage, I'm trying to network, build relationships, and not really, like, build relationships just for favors, but at the same time, it's like I'm going to utilize my resources, like, with my leverage, basically.
Yeah, it don't got to always be like a favor. It could be like, yo, this will make you some money.
Right. For sure.
Go do this. Go do that.
Yeah. But I feel like a lot of artists, though, too, but like, well, what I was saying, though, too, like, there's some artists, like there's just, I feel like even locally, I've watched it, I even seen it, like, way back with some artists, like, during the era when Asco had his time, and, like, there's even other artists before him that had their time. Like, each time I see artists have their time, even, like, Shig and them back in the day with the I'm Jigging. Like, there's some, not particularly the artists I just named, so, but, like, there's some,
as an example,
there's some artists that, like, get to a certain point locally, and they're really not where they need to be nationally, but they get to a certain point locally and they get too Hollywood.
So it's like,
and then you really kill your own self, like doing that. Like, you're too good to be doing this, or work here with this person, or do that. And then meanwhile, 5 years later, that person passed you up now.
The same people you
and got a deal, and you still at home.
Yeah.
Like, it just didn't work out. And you could have been locked in with that person. He was probably trying to mess with you when you had your buzz.
Yeah.
You could have been locked in with him. It's 5 years later. He got a deal, and he could be from around your area and everything, right up under you. And it's just like, I see a lot of that happen locally. Like, think about locally how many times artists were super hot with a single here, and it's just like, what happened? And then it's 5 years later, somebody else is out here popping. Like, Guapo Lennox and them, where were they at 5 years ago? Not dissing them. I'm like, that's a good thing. It's like, yo, look at them now. And they probably might have been in somebody's ear trying to mess with them back then. Yo, I could do that, like, whatever. Fed too. You know, Fed had his come up too. Like, and it's like, so when artists like that have their come up, I just hope that they can, like, do what people didn't do for them. Don't get too, like, what's the word for, like, don't get too, like
stingy, comfortable.
Like, don't hold animosity towards people. Like, I feel like there's artists that would do that too. They get to a certain point, and they might hold certain animosity with people, so they won't work with certain people, don't even want to help anybody because nobody helped them the right way. But it's like, that's where the change starts at. Somebody got to break that curse or whatever, you know what I mean?
Yeah. All right, man, so what's some advice you got for young up-and-coming rappers before we get up out of here?
Advice as far as what? Like,
anything. Like, what would Beaux say to, like, 15-year-old Beaux, or, like, the young dude in Duquesne that looks up to you?
Well, Beaux would say, I would say, have an organized plan. Like, treat this just like a business. Like, you wouldn't never go open up a Wendy's or a McDonald's and not have a plan. You know what I mean? You're not just going to throw your money on the table and say, hey, I want a McDonald's. You know what I mean? You got to, I would say that, like, really will help you get ahead at what you're doing. Just have your plan and organize. And even if things don't work out the way they're supposed to, how you have it written on paper, at least you, like, follow the lead and the plan. And you're getting somewhere, you can still take off from wherever you left off at, you know what I mean? If something falls. But definitely be organized and have a plan.
Well, what's 2022 looking like for you?
2022, I definitely got a lot of new music. By summertime, I'm going to definitely have a few new visuals out.
Have a tape?
My goal is, like, okay, so right now with this music, what I'm just basically doing, I'm just trying to, like, keep pushing singles, keep dropping, and just see how the buzz picks up. But, like, as far as the body of work, I do plan on dropping something soon, like an EP, a 6-song EP or something. Yeah. But if I do that, it probably would be by the summer, fall time.
Okay.
But right now, we're just dropping. Like,
all right.
Just keep picking it up.
That's what's up. That's what's up. I look forward to seeing the consistency, the visuals, and everything, which number great success.
Yeah, like, a lot of people don't know me. You know, I'm kind of new on the scene, but I'm really not. Like, a lot of artists that are big in the, a lot of artists that are big in the city, they know of me. Like, you know, whether it be the OEs that have been established or anybody, like, they know me. So it's just like, I really have a real story. That's what I really want people to know. Like I'm not like your average artist, really. Like, and like, I just hop straight in this, like, head first, and I'm just gonna go ahead and do what I do. But at the end of the day, I want people to know I got a real story, and I plan on giving everybody that soon here. So,
well, ladies and gentlemen, another segment of the Future Flavor Show, Big Beaux.
Yup, Big Beaux, you know what I mean? 5-star ENT. Make sure y'all get out with me. You can follow me on Instagram at Big Beaux, BIG.BEAUX. And yeah, 2022, man, expect big things, man. A lot of drops, a lot of new music. Shout out my boys right here. I got my boys Galaxy, you know what I mean? My boy Sear, my boy D-Mac. Look out for them too, man. They the next young ones coming up, man. I'm telling you, a whole nother sound.
There it is. Also, good looks. I forgot to ask you that.
Yeah, no, that's cool. I'll throw them in there real quick.
All right, cool. Yeah, now we're good. You know, take a flick up in the front.